Nexus 4, one of the arguably best phones of the year and definitely a contender anyway. If you can get your hands on one, well, you might just be surprised with what it can offer you. This is my review of the Nexus 4. Let's get into it. Let's start off with the hardware. So on the right hand side is equivalent to a power button, and that is it. This power button is representative of Samsung. It's Samsung's trademark, and even though the phone itself is actually designed by LG, it's a great place to put a power button as your finger rests on that area all the time. On the bottom of the device we have our micro USB port as well as two torque screws and a mic. This micro USB port can be used to transfer media as well as charge a device, which we'll get to later. The right hand side is the power or the volume rocker button, As you can see, it's just a volume up and down, simple switch, as well as the micro SIM tray. It's important that this has a non-removable battery, so the micro SIM, like the iPhone, is in the side of the device with this little pin so you can take the micro SIM out. On the top of the device is another microphone to cancel out noise, as well as the 3.5mm headphone jack, which is nicely flush with the device. Moving to the back now, we have our slot speaker, which the speaker quality of this device is average at best, not very impressive but not very bad either. The LG branding, as you can see, it's made by LG, as well as more information. The Nexus logo branding, as obviously this is the Nexus device and in the Nexus line of the family, as well as an 8MP autofocus camera with single LED flash capable of 1080p video recording. The back also features a very impressive design. Coated in Gorilla Glass, you may also notice speckles of reflections, as we can see there. That makes for a very nice design, especially when you're out in public and you can show off the phone. Like I said before, the front and the back of the device are coated in Gorilla Glass, meaning that this may be a put off for some people, especially if you drop your phone on a regular basis, although Google do sell bumpers for the device to protect it. On the front is a speaker grill, as well as a front-facing camera capable of 720p video recording and a proximity sensor. The front panel lends itself to a 4.7-inch True HD IPS LCD display at 768 by 1280 pixels, which gives it a PPI rating of 318. I can obviously say that this is one of the best displays on the market, regardless of what phone you've used before. It really is stunning. Very sharp and very clear. It lends itself to some great true colours. As you can see, around the device is a rubber coating. This isn't going to protect it from drops, but it's a nice touch and it makes it feel great in the hand. The front end also features a chrome bezel around the whole of the device, which again is a nice aesthetic touch. Holding the device in your hands feels great. 4.7 inches isn't too big for me, and the thickness of the device is 9.1mm thin, which may be thick for some people, but it's very nice to hold, especially because of the curved and tapered edges of the device. At 139 grams, it's not too heavy either, and contends with other phones like the Samsung Galaxy S3 and HTC One X. As you can see, the glass on the front of the display tapers off at the edge. I do have a screen protector on this device, but you may just be able to make out the glass actually curves along with the line of the phone, which means that swiping your finger across the device is very smooth, and again adds to the pleasing touch. This device also features some amazing internal specifications, especially for the price point that you're buying it at. It features the latest in architecture CPU design, a Snapdragon S4 Pro, a quad-core Snapdragon S4 Pro that is, capable of 1.5 GHz. It also features an Adreno 320 GPU, which destroys any type of game you play. All this is backed up by 2 GB of RAM. Yes, you heard that right, that's 2 GB. meaning you can fly through loads of applications with this and just virtually no lag at all, and everything's saved. It's an amazing device and capable of anything that you throw at it. So what else does this phone feature? Well, one of the downsides of this device is it features an 8 or 16 gigabytes of internal storage, and you may have noticed no micro SD card slot, which is disappointing for some, but as I've said here, I have the 16 gigabyte version. I'm not run into any problems yet, but then again, I've only had it about a week. 16 gigabytes should be plenty for most people, especially as cloud storage is on the up. This phone features no 4G LTE, as there isn't any 4G LTE anyway in the UK, well, minus a couple of places at the minute on O2. But if you're in America and the US, you may be disappointed by that. But it does feature HSDPA Plus, 42 megabytes per second, which for most people will do, especially, is amazingly fast. We can't get 42 megabytes where I live, but I can get 21 or around 15, which is very pleasing indeed. So as I've said, it also features the camera, 8 megapixel, autofocus LED flash, with 1080p 30 frames per second video recording. It also features Android version 4.2 Jelly Bean, which is obviously the latest version of Jelly Bean, and because this is a Nexus device, it will have the latest version of Jelly Bean as soon as it comes out most of the time, which is one of the plus points of a Nexus device. So that's about it for the hardware. We obviously have our general GPS and our Wi-Fi BGNN, as well as many other sensors that the device offers. So yeah, like I've said, the battery and everything is internal in the device and you can't actually get into it. Well, I imagine you couldn't do the torque screws, but you're not going to do that, so it's more or less a solidly built device, meaning that you'd have to run on a battery, which is a 2100 milliamp hour battery, which generally lasts me throughout the day, although I do notice strenuous tasks like gaming do drain the battery very quickly. It's also recommended to have the display on auto brightness, or indeed the lowest brightness, to save as much battery as you can on this amazing device. So without further ado, let's dive into the OS. This is a custom ROM I have on at the minute, which I'll talk about later, but this is what you'll get in your stock Android experience. So if you're used to any Android version, you more or less know what you're going to come to, but if you're coming from a different device, say iOS or Windows Phone, then it's going to be a little bit different. So obviously we have our notification bar now. This is an app I have running at the minute. Normally it would be blank and you can swipe notifications. Tapping up here brings up quick settings now, and we can do various things like turn Bluetooth on and off, Wi-Fi, jump straight into the settings, or indeed change the brightness to whatever suits. As we can see, because it's a Nexus device, this is the second Nexus phone device to have the on-screen buttons, meaning that when you turn the device off, the front of the device is just flush with no buttons, and it's perfected minimalistically with just the camera and the speaker. Meaning on-screen buttons, they do take a fair amount of the 4.7-inch display up, which may be a downside to some people, which is why I installed a custom ROM, which allowed me to shrink it a bit to my needs. So as you can see, I have a theme on at the minute, but obviously I have a Pacific launcher for my device. So as you can see here, scrolling is very fast, and it's a very fast device. I've noticed virtually no lag with the device at all, and day-to-day performance and even heavy strenuous tasks perform really well indeed. I won't show you those numbers there. So yeah, virtually no lag at all, and speed is definitely an essence of this phone. You can do two-finger swipe also to access quick settings. As I've said before, this device features Android version 4.2.1, Jelly Bean, as we can see here. As I said, this is a custom kernel. This is a custom ROM, but Jelly Bean is Jelly Bean nonetheless. Which brings me back to the main point, that this is a Nexus device, and unlocking the bootloader, and indeed installing your own recovery and rooting the device is very simple indeed and only takes a couple of steps in most cases. In doing so, allows you to install custom ROMs, and indeed there are many options available at the current time of writing, and the phone has only been out a while. As we can see here, I have a custom ROM which allows me to change the interface a bit and allow more screen real estate in having the status bar and the buttons down here at the bottom smaller, so I can have a bigger display to use for my apps and such. So yeah, no lag at all there. Another thing I wanted to say was this display is just amazing. I don't know if we can get it on camera there, but it is no doubtably one of the best displays out there. My granny does have the Galaxy S3 and my granddad has the first Galaxy Note, both with HD displays as well, but none are as sharp as this or as natural colour representations as this display. One thing I did notice coming from a Super AMOLED Plus display was blacks aren't as black, but nevertheless they are pretty black for an LCD display, so I am still impressed. Call quality in this phone has been okay. I have noticed a couple of buzzing from the earpiece. I heard that's a problem with the Nexus 4 device, but other than that, call quality is great and I've had no problem with the signal. So we'll just do a speed test here, just a quick one just to show you. I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm not going to use my mobile data because I can only get GPRS where I live, which is like 0.1 megabytes, so it's terribly slow. Just one thing I did notice is that some apps don't render properly with this HD display. As you can see, here's this speed test app is cut off a bit, which is a bit unfortunate, but oh well. What can you do? That's up to developers to change out for the device. So as you can see, I get incredible speeds with this phone. I'm getting, just change this here to megabytes, and indeed that is 30 megabytes per second, as well as nearly 2 megabytes upload, which is very fast for a device. My Nexus 7 and indeed my Galaxy S2 only get a download of about anywhere between 10 and 15, so it's almost double on this device, which has really impressed me a lot. Again, you know, you won't be disappointed with this device. It's incredibly fast and great to use, and in general just a pleasurable phone to have on a daily basis. As you can see, the battery is 92% at the minute. It's not done too bad, and it will last you most days. So what else? This device also features wireless charging through the Qi standard. Unfortunately, I don't have a wireless charging device at the minute, which is unfortunate. So I can't wireless charge it, but nonetheless, it does feature wireless charging if you want. It also features NFC as well as Android Beam, which is obviously great. So you can transfer pictures to many high-end smartphones today, as well as tablets, obviously. Performance in the device in terms of web browsing is also very impressive. We'll just go to a website here that's pretty intensive. We'll just go to Android Central. I'll just let it load up. As you can see, it's pretty fast. Well, this is a mobile version, so we'll just go to the full site there. And as you can see, loading is pretty fast indeed, and it's still loading at the minute, but I can still scroll fine with no lag. So I'll just wait for that to load fully. And so yeah, we'll just zoom in here. As you can see, no stuttering of the sort. You can zoom in on text, and text looks really crisp as well. We can obviously double tap as well, just to view the article size. And here we go. Virtually no lag, and no problems with web browsing at all. If you do a lot of web browsing, this is definitely a phone for you. So I think that's about it. I'll put some pictures up and some videos now of the camera quality of the device, just to prove to you guys that it's not a bad camera, but it's not the best camera either. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and peace out. Hey guys, this is a video test on the Nexus 4 just to test the audio quality and the video quality of the camcorder. It's recording in 1080p and everything is set to auto with the LED light off.
Preview from royaltyfreeheaven.com.